In October 2013, I began Canada World Youth, an international exchange program in which 9 Canadians and 9 Indonesians would come together from all over their countries to volunteer for a total of 6 months, half in Truro, Nova Scotia, and the last 3 in Sigohang, Central Kalimantan, Indonesia, which is where my jaw-dropping and eye-opening experience in Indonesia begins. Sigohang is a very remote village inhabited only by a few hundred people. Daily, wild cats, dogs, gigantic bugs, lizards, and bats would wander into my house carelessly. One of my fellow volunteers, Hansko, became my boyfriend. However, news surfaced about us regarding the fact that we were seen twice walking around the village alone together, which was against their culture and just one of the offenses that we unknowingly committed, which led to our termination from the program a month into the Indonesia phase. This experience was supposed to be some big life-altering journey, and yet it was cut short, and so I refused to go home, and we booked the next flight for Bali. At this time did our adventure truly begin. I had previously been to the cultured, artistic, colorful, and beautiful Bali. However, this time meant something completely different to me. It was the first time Hansko and I could walk around just us two and hold hands, which was liberating and very intimate. Being so far from that beautiful yet restricting little village where we could now swim in the crystal clear and turquoise ocean was a feeling of complete freedom. I'd never appreciated my independence so much. After Sanur, we headed to Kuta, known for its nightlife and the fantastic surfing. We then headed inland to Ubud, which is probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. We caught a glimpse of a waterfall through the jungle and decided to bushwhack down a valley through vines and mud to get to it. Although we didn't know whether the water was hygienic or safe to swim in, I convinced hesitant Hansko to come in with me, which turned out to be a very special moment for us. This is an example of a situation in which I've really come to admire in myself. I have a spontaneity and a fearlessness that refuses me to pass up an amazing opportunity. Hansko was impressed, and of the uttermost importance, I was impressed with myself. We headed north to Munduk, a quiet village up in the Balinese mountains that are covered with rice terraces, then further north to Pemudaran for some snorkeling in the colorful coral reefs, then all the way down south to Bingen, which consists of turquoise waters, white cliffs, and then for our last destination in Bali, we headed back to Kuta. While playing soccer with Hansko on the beach, at some point blood was beginning to quickly stream from my foot and my toe was on an excruciating 45-degree angle. I was rushed to the hospital where I learned that I needed surgery and was required to wear a walking cast for 4 weeks prior. And so I limped around for hours each day. And even went on a short hike up the beautiful mountain in Java to view the sunrise over the immense Buddhist temple Borobudur. I acquired the ability to push myself and just to deal with what I had to work with. We then headed to Gili Trawangan, known for its beautiful white sand beaches, fantastic snorkeling, and nightlife. Our last stop in Indonesia was to Jakarta again, following Yogyakarta. We then headed to Phuket, Thailand, a place so different from all others. The nightlife was insane. It was a long, crowded street lined with packed strip clubs. Transgendered women known as ladyboys who happened to be stunningly beautiful, wearing sequins and feathers, filled the streets. Following Phuket, we headed to Koh Phi Phi, an island famously known as having been the beautiful film location for the movie The Beach. We then headed to Krabi next, and then off to Koh Phangan for the notorious full moon party, the largest party in the world, estimated to have 10,000 to 30,000 neon-clad people attending. Following Koh Phangan, we headed for Hustling Bangkok, and then to Chiang Mai, where we visited an orchid garden, a traditional village of long necks, hiked to a waterfall, white water and bamboo rafted, and then fed and rode an elephant. The whitewater rafting was not so much hard paddling as it was having a splash fight with the local children while passing their hangouts by the river. Our next stop was Luang Prabang, Laos. The atmosphere is amazing. Young monks could be viewed playing in a temple's courtyard, a test of who could jump the highest to touch the bottommost leaves from the trees, or jumping from the man-made bamboo bridge into the current of the Mekong River. We visited the absolutely stunning Kuang Si waterfalls, a series of swimmable, smoky turquoise waterfalls. Undoubtedly, Luang Prabang was our highlight. From Laos, we flew into Hanoi, Vietnam. We are back to the hustle of a big city where there's an estimated 35 million motorbikes that are in a constant traffic throughout the city. After Hanoi, we booked a two-night boat trip into the vast and otherworldly Halong Bay. Hoi An was next, an elegant city of old mustard-colored buildings decorated with hundreds of colorful lanterns that at night are reflected in the river that runs through the town. We then headed to Phu Quoc, an island of pure white sand and warm light turquoise waters. Our last destination before flying home was to Ho Chi Minh. Ho Chi Minh has a culture for rooftops, and so we took every opportunity we could to find the best rooftop restaurants and pools. At the airport, there were tears on both parts, sad to leave each other, but happy to have grown so close and shared such an amazing experience. The resentment I held against Canada World Youth for its unfair deselection has diminished. Out of it, I have had the experience I was looking for, something life-altering. I have experienced so many different cultures, people, and environments. I have faced challenges in which I have overcome and made the most of. I have obtained a new mind state, one of openness, gratitude, and happiness, where I realize my flaws and mistakes, but do not resent them, as they've helped me realize how to better myself, something that I will continue to work on for the rest of my life. I am more aware of other living conditions, as I've seen them, experienced them, and lived in them for the 3.5 months that I was in Asia. I've made friends from around the world. I have learned that it's not what you have, but whom you have that matters. I have felt the feeling of freedom from my release from the constricting program to a place of endless possibility where I have the independence to pursue what I wanted to do and where I wanted to go. I have realized how I want to live my life and what I want from it. I want to volunteer again and make a big difference in the community, wherever it is around the world. I want to take risk always and feel the rush of adrenaline, which I had come to realize my addiction to. I want to be a good friend, daughter, sister, mother, and partner, and keep my relationships healthy and lively. I refuse to settle down. I refuse not to fall in love and be in love, not holding myself back from what feels so good. And I refuse to be on my deathbed, regretting never having been to all the places I wanted to go.